Hey guys, what's going on? Russo here bringing you guys episode 10 of the Hardcore Ironman series. And before we get into this episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you. I know I pretty much say this at the beginning of every single episode, but I really want to say a massive thank you to all the support you have all given me on this channel. Not only on this channel, but on this series specifically. This series is going tremendously well, and I'm very, very excited about it. So I believe last week's episode actually hit 60 likes. If we could do that again on this week's episode, that would be tremendous. I would be ecstatic. And thank you guys so much. Eventually, we'll be up there with 100 likes per Hardcore Ironman episode. That would be the absolute dream, but we'll get there eventually, guys. So one scene before this, we actually did an overview of where the account sits today. So last week we actually ended the episode with us getting 99 fishing. As you can see right here, we are actually running the Sears Agility Rooftop course with our fishing cape, just hitting 78 agility. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, why are you running agility? Well, we are running agility to actually go ahead and get our graceful. Since we did 99 fishing via the Barbarian fishing method, we actually did get some strength XP and we did get some agility XP as well, but we actually did not get our graceful. So we ended at about 72 agility, but we had no graceful, no marks of grace to show for it. So we actually went ahead and ran the Sears Agility course, which I believe is the best marks up until you go up to Artie. Canifis is a close second, but I'm pretty sure it's Sears. At least that's what everybody on the stream told me. Some people wanted me to go do Polonevich. I decided to stick with Sears. It wasn't as good of XP per hour, but the marks of grace were actually much, much better, at least until level 80. And as you can see, we only hit up to level 78. So as you saw right there, we did end up buying our full set of mark of grace. Now, in my personal opinion, Graceful is awesome. It can be used for farming runs. It can be used for questing. It could just be used for getting around the map much, much, much more easily. So that's why we actually decided just to go straight for Graceful right after fishing, because I knew we were going to start doing some questing, some other, sorts of skilling, and farming is going to be something that we will have to start very, very soon. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of farming start towards the end of this episode, but we actually haven't planted any seeds in. You guys will kind of see what we do towards the end of this episode. So in this episode, it's going to be not a lot of skilling. It's going to be a lot of questing. It's going to be a lot of doing some combat, which is definitely something new to this channel. So this quest that we just completed was the Taurus Trap. We decided to use our 2 antique lamps to actually go into smithing. Now, I was told by my stream that smithing is pretty difficult skill to actually get up. Granted, we have to go buy a lot of ores from the blast furnace, which we will do eventually. Just through this clip in here, the agility pyramid, this is one of the methods that I'm going to be doing to actually make a lot of my money. So as you can see right there, we ran the agility pyramid off stream for about 16 artifacts, traded those in for 10k each to get us a beautiful stack of 160k. We actually went ahead and did 14 more of those and got us a stack of 300,000 GP. So what I'm showing here is essentially we are starting our journey on buying sand and soda ash. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what the sand and soda ash is used for, the sand and the soda ash is used for crafting. So we will have to take all this sand and soda ash, we'll have to go smelt it, we'll have to go turn it into molten glass. I'm assuming we will be using the superheat spell or some sort of lunar spell to actually turn this into molten glass. Once we do that, we will actually be blowing glass lenses, I believe, and that is how you get your crafting up on an Ironman. Now, we are buying this sand and soda ash from the fishing trawler, which seems to be the best and most viable place to actually do it from. So, level 19 Matic, that's the other thing I mentioned too. We are beginning to get our combat up. We are actually doing the quest right now, Fight Arena. So we're fighting the 3 bosses. I believe there's a Hellhound, a Scorpion, and then you actually fight the General Khazard. So, as you can see right there, we are hitting 21 Magic. So, a little bit nerve-wracking over here. We can't actually die to a lot of these quest bosses, but thankfully, most of them do have safe spots, which is really, really beneficial, and that's why you really want to use Magic. So I'm going to just kind of talk about the progression of the account and where we're going. So last episode, we did get 99 fishing, which I was extremely excited about. So 99 fishing for us was an awesome goal to get. Now, it does help us with food. It helps us with strength XP. It also helped us with some agility XP, right? And I just want to mention right here, this is absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea how I was able to save spot this NPC, but for some reason, we glitched him into the back of a tree, and he couldn't actually come at us with any save spot. So that was a really, really cool thing that we managed to do. We did get 40 attack from finishing that quest, which is absolutely fantastic. So now we have 40 attack, we have 72 strength. Our defense is lacking a little bit, but we'll touch upon that in a couple minutes here. So the fishing cape has come in amazing uses. It is basically a one-click telly, not a one-click, but a two-click telly, but it's right at a bank. So we can actually use our fishing cape to teleport right to the fishing guild and use the bank right there. So I didn't even think about that when I was going for my journey to 99 fishing. All I was concerned about was a way to catch fish really, really quickly. Plus, I thought that would be the most efficient way to get both strength and both agility up. So we have 72 strength. So defeating quest bosses, defeating any NPCs or any monsters via strength or via melee has been actually quite simple. Now, our defense is lacking a little bit, so we do take some damage, but we are able to hit, I believe we've hit up to 12 or 13, so we only have a mithril scimitar that we can actually use at this point. We don't have an addy scimitar or a rune scimitar or anything like that. You did see us get 40 attack, so we can wield that rune scimitar if need be, but for right now, we only have a mithril scimitar in our bank. I will have to find a way to actually go ahead and get that rune one to help me with questing and, you know, defeating NPCs, and especially when we go ahead and choose to do our melee training, that'll actually come in extreme benefits, right? It'll be very beneficial to our account. So, and as you guys can tell, the 72 strength, very, very helpful. The agility, very, very helpful. We actually decided to go a bit further, get our full graceful, get 70 agility as well. And on top of that, guys, the teleport with the fishing cape is amazing. Also, if you guys didn't know, the trimmed skilling capes actually give a prayer bonus. So skill capes in general give a defense bonus, but a trimmed skilling cape actually gives you a defense and a prayer bonus. So it is actually beneficial. This will be our best cape that we can use until we actually go ahead and get a fire cape. Now, as you guys can see here, we did decide to train our defense via magic training. Now, the main reason we did this was not because we only had 10 defense. The main reason we did this is because we actually received an easy clue while we were on our journey to 99 fishing, and we actually needed 20 defense because we had to wear a studded leather body for one of the clue requirements. I actually put that off. We got the clue at about 97 fishing, and we didn't get any clues between 97 and 99. So that was probably a mistake on my end. I should have actually went ahead, trained defense, got that up, and then once we actually got that clue, we would be able to get more clues from there on after. But unfortunately, I made the mistake, and I didn't actually get 20 defense then and there. So what we did right there, we actually just trained magic with defense. We ended up getting our defense all the way up to level 20 via that, so we were able to go ahead and do that clue. After we, got our defense level to 20, spoilers alerts, guys, we're only at level 15, but we did manage to get it back up to 20. After I actually completed that, what we did is we went ahead and did the clue, and that's actually featured in this episode as well. So this is the first time that I'm really training combat in this account. So the guide instructs us to actually go for 43 magic via moss giants. Now this is a really nice spot that you can actually save spot. Right now I believe we are just casting Fire Blast, which is a level 13 magic spell. We just bought a bunch of miners, as you guys can see, a bunch of air rims, and we're actually just wielding the fire staff. So it's very simple to do, not much risk of dying. Sometimes the moss giants actually did aggro you, which could be very, it could be a little bit, unfortunate, but we were able to run around, and we, kept some salmonas as well. So the way that we're doing this, we are burying bones. We're pretty much, picking up every single drop that we can. My bank is an absolute mess because I'm not really familiar with how the Ironman banking system works. I'm also not really familiar with what items are good and what items are bad. So as you can see in our inventory, we're picking up mithril swords. We're picking up steel bars. The Ensouled Heads, I've heard, are very good for prayer. I do not have a lot of prayer experience, so we're going to probably use those and, help our prayer get up. I also don't have a lot of experience in what, Ensouled Heads do for prayer, so I got to learn all about those, but that's going to be a whole nother journey in its own. So there it is, guys. Level 20 defense. We finally got there. So from there on, after we just switched to straight magic training, so we didn't have to split any of the XP up. And there it is, level 18 prayer as well. We're not doing anything special for prayer. We're not doing the bones at an altar. We're not doing the bones anything specific. All we are doing is literally just burying them into the ground for now because we're killing moss giants. So you guys might be wondering, why are you not killing fire giants? You could do the same exact thing while killing fire giants, but you have a chance of getting a rune scimitar. Well, the thing is, guys, why we are not killing fire giants is we thought our HP was way too low. Now, you guys see it up on the screen. We actually have 30 HP right now. When we started this journey, we were in the low 20s for HP, right? So it was very difficult for us to actually do that. One misstep on a fire giant can actually kill the account. Moss giants, not so much. Well, we're now up to level 35, which is great. But, so 35 HP, obviously much safer. There is no such thing as safe when you play a Hardcore Ironman. Anything can combo you out. Anything can one-bang you. It's very, you got to be very cautious. So that's why we actually went and that's why we chose to not do fire giants. That's why we actually went the route of going ahead and doing moss giants. So moss giants don't really offer too many good things. They offer some seeds that I got. We got some seeds, we got some bones, we got some Ensouled Heads. So there's really not too much good that they offer, but still, it got us our 43 magic. That was awesome. Now we are back once again buying our sand and buying our seaweed. So I do want to touch upon this. I do actually have 2 clips of this in the episode. So we will be doing this on stream, guys, and we will be doing this off stream. Now, sand and seaweed, as well as soda ash, are very cheap. We will not be buying the seaweed because it's just totally inefficient to do. It's not something that's, I'm not going to do that because all I'm going to do is just buy the buckets of sand and I'm going to buy the soda ash to make my molten glass. So, also want to touch upon Client of Karen. So, we actually wanted to go get Hosidius Favor. Now, when you do Client of Karen, when this guide was written, this quest did not exist. So, people didn't really know about it, so it said to go get 15% Hosidius. If I were to go get 15% Hosidius Favor and I were to go start another one of the houses, I would actually lose all that favor, so it really doesn't matter right now. So what we decided to do is use our 20% favor in the Hosidius house, and we actually decided to use our 2 XP lamps on Herblore, because Herblore is one of those skills that we always want to use our XP lamps on, as I mentioned in plenty of the episodes before. So we actually managed to get 36 Herblore. Now that little clip right there was very, very cool. So Runefest is going on the weekend that I'm actually recording this video, and Jagex did a nice little promotion with a very cool looking shield right there for Runefest, so we went ahead and picked that up on this account from Django. So yeah, but we're doing a bunch of questing here, as you guys can see. Tribal Totem has been completed. Back to Klein or Karen, though, we have 15%. That was what the guide was saying us, but in actuality, guys, we wanted to go ahead and get 100. Now, I do want to touch upon this screen as well. We are doing the Alfred Grimhand bar crawl as we kind of go gradually throughout this. So I'm not actually showing those clips because those are very, very hard to capture if you don't write down the timing, but we are actually doing the bar crawl all throughout these episodes. So eventually we will end up completing that bar crawl card, which will be very, very beneficial to us. So we're kind of doing that on an as needed basis or as a more of a convenience basis. So here's that clue I mentioned with the 20 defense, an ancient page Thor, the best clue that I've actually received from this entire series so far. Very, very excited about that. I really have to start doing some more clues if they do come about. Unfortunately, we haven't really gotten too many since we went on our fishing journey. And once again, I should have actually done that clue way, way, way back, back when I was probably 97 fishing, so that we actually gave ourselves an opportunity to get a little bit more of that. So the clip with the saltpeter, I'm doing Hosidius favor, as you guys can tell right now. So we have to manually get all the saltpeter. We have to manually get all of the compost. So we bought some compost packs from the Academy farm shop, and we actually came over here, and now we're putting them together to make our compost to trade in for our Hosidius favor. So luckily we were getting about 2 XP per bucket here for farming, so we actually managed to get all the way up to 14 farming for this. This is very, very slow, so we tried to figure out some sort of manual process to do it. I was kind of working with my stream on this. It was very, very, very slow to do. It's not like doing 14 for air battle staves or any skills like that, fletching bows. You actually just initiate it and click it, and it takes about, I would say it takes a good solid 30 seconds per inventory. So it's very, very, very slow to do, but if you can actually speed up the process by using the saltpeter on the compost. So, my goal here was to only get 45% favor. We actually ended up making about 1,200 compost, and with a double favor, we actually managed to trade all of this in to get 100%. So this is also very good for our farming levels. We do have to start farming in general. Once we start thieving, we can go to sit at Master Farmer, get a lot of those seeds, and begin kind of farming around the world. So I will have to go do tithe farming. I have tithe farming on another one of my accounts, and we actually have the auto weed, which is really, really, really beneficial. So as you can see here, we traded in our buckets, and for some weird reason, we got 100% Hosidius. So we are all done with Hosidius favor. 1 out of the 5 Zaya houses are now completed in terms of favor, which I'm very, very excited about, actually. So my end goal, and we did lock that in. We didn't show the clip of us locking in the favor, but we did definitely go ahead, and and lock that in. So we are now stealing fruit from a fruit stall on Zaya. There are 2 dogs that actually do guard this fruit stall. As you can see in the building in the minimap, you can actually lure those dogs into that building, close the door behind them, and they actually cannot get out. So you can actually steal it from this fruit stall with nobody bothering you, nobody catching you. It's literally just when it respawns, you can just click the button. So we also got ourselves some baskets. There's a farming shop located very, very close to this fruit stall. Get yourself some baskets, store your apples away, store your strawberries away, and store any other fruit that you think will be beneficial to you. I believe apples are payments for a couple trees, and strawberries are also payments for a couple trees, or we need baskets of strawberries. I think they can act as some pretty good food sources as well. So we figured we'd save those fruits from that stall. Ended up going there and getting 42 thieving, which is an awesome goal. And we finally completed one of the easiest quests in RuneScape, Cook's Assistant. Well, this is another Cook's Quest. This is part of the RFD. I believe this is part of the RFD, but we did complete Cook's Assistant maybe a couple episodes ago, but we went back to the cook and completed RFD. The RFD portion. Went ahead and did Sheep Shearer, which is also another very easy quest. Luckily enough, we already had 20 balls of wool. All we had to do is go talk to the guy and trade him in. And the final quest we will be completing this episode is going to be our Vampire Slayer quest. So we are doing a lot of questing, guys, a lot of different skills. We are not just going to be grinding, fishing, agility, and strength anymore. Very excited about that. It's really cool to have something just kind of come all together. And, finally, once you really, really grind a goal and you finally get to that point where you actually complete the goal, it makes you feel really, really good. So here's where the account is standing right now. A very nice visual of the account, full graceful, guys. There's our mithril scimitar that I touched upon before, and there's our trimmed fishing cape, which looks absolutely amazing, and I'm very excited to have on this account. So I know this episode was all over the place, but I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you guys do leave a like. And with that being said, we'll see you guys on episode 11.